Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us to have a peep inside a beehive. Today, I'm going to show you what's inside this beehive. So I will start to explain a bit what the beehive is. So it's a house for bees. There's the lid, and there's two boxes there. One will be for honey, and the other one will be for brood, for the bees to raise new bees. So I've got my smoker ready, and I've got my hive tool. I will put in my veil, and we'll have a look inside the beehive. If I can close it. Okay. You can see all the bees are on the fly board, and they've got the bottom up. So what are they doing? They're fanning, and they've got the gland there. There is a gland at the bottom called the Nazaroth Gland, and this gland emits a pheromone, which is a calling pheromone. The smell of this pheromone is similar to jasmine. So they're calling the other bees because I've been leaving the hive a bit open too long, so they're calling other bees inside the hive. So we'll start by smoking a bit the entrance to warn the bees I'm gonna open the hive, and I will remove the lid. This cover is called an inner lid, and it prevents the bees from escaping through the lid if we want to. So I will open this one, and we can see bees inside roaming on the frames. I will remove one of the frames, and I will show you what's in it. So in this frame, you've got only honey. The bees have made the wax with the hexagon cells, and they fill up with nectar from which they collect from trees, and then by ingesting the nectar or regurgitating the nectar into cells, they're making honey. This is capped honey, so it's ripe honey. This is uncapped honey, and you can see the bees, they are still making the honey by licking what's inside and regurgitating. So this frame is about 2.5 kilos, so there's about 2.5 kilos of honey on both sides. And you can see that on the camera, but I can tell you it's smelling good. I will put it back now and open another one to see if there is more. And you can see that there is more in this one. So this super is almost completely full of honey and will need to be harvested soon. Once almost 70% of all those frames are capped, so that means that the bees have put a pellicule of wax, a wax lid on top of the cell, it will be ready to harvest. All those bees are worker bees. They're all female. And they all come from a fertilized egg laid by the queen. So we'll put it back, and we will remove the super to have a look what's inside the brood box now. This is quite heavy, so I put it aside, and I'm removing what's called a queen excluder. So a queen excluder is like a mesh on which the size of the mesh is small enough to prevent the queen to come up inside the honey super. So she won't lay eggs inside. And this is a temperature probe to see the temperature inside the beehive remotely. Here we go. So I will lift a frame inside the brood box and we'll have a look of what's on this frame. Okay, so in this frame you can see two types of bees. There is in the beehive, there is 3 types of bees. We call it caste of bees. There's the drones. Here is a drone, which are the male. They come from unfertilized egg laid by the queen. All the others are female. They're workers. And we will be looking for the queen. But in this particular hive, the queen has gone because it has swarmed recently. How can I tell that? It's because I can see there queen cells. So those pyramid shape hanging down actually are queen cells. So they are queen in the making. At the moment, this hive is without a queen, but a new queen will raise soon from one of these cells. The first one who will hatch will kill the other, and then she will fly to get mated with as many drones as she can, probably 10 to 15 drones. And then she will come back inside the hive and lay eggs. In this frame, what we can see is that there is quite difference from the frames with honey. In this frame, it's mostly covered with what we call brood. And in this particular frame, it's capped brood. So all those cells, they are closed by a lid of wax, a melt of wax and silk. And inside there is a new bee coming. So maybe we can find other cells. In those ones, we can see drone cells, and just a male is about to hatch. So he's trying to escape this cell where he was for at least 3 weeks. And the workers are trying to help him getting out. I put this frame back inside the hive and we'll examine another one. Probably this one. So in this frame, we see drone cells. They are more rounded, they're bigger, and worker cells. They're smaller, and you can see they're flat. And here in the middle, you can see the light, the reflection of the sun in nectar. You've got a bit of honey on the corner, but because this particular hive has swarmed, the bees, normally it will be covered with eggs, but they're using those cells to put some nectar for the time being. The other size is almost the same. So this bee is getting out, slowly but surely. She will be very fluffy. And she's got a different color from the other bees. Maybe if we wait a bit longer, she will get out, but she's just about to get out of her cell. A third job in the beehive will be to clean the cell where she was born. There she is. Slowly, slowly, she's reaching out. Maybe we can help her a little bit, but she will be all right. And off she goes. So on this frame, I will move the bees out. On this frame, you can see the different color of pollen that they put inside the cells. So this pollen is orange, the next one is yellow, and normally they don't mix the color in the same cell, but they can put different cells with different origin of pollen. Pollen is the source of protein for bees, and nectar is the source of sugar, that means energy. A drone there. The drone have bigger eyes and they're bigger than the workers. They're quite different and they don't feed themselves. They have to be fed by the bees, by the workers. They're quite clumsy as well. The big eyes are there to spot the queen and to mate with the queen. Okay, so I put this frame back inside the hive. And maybe we can have a look at the frames right on the side. This frame doesn't contain any brood. It's full of honey. Uncapped honey. So that's their personal, we don't harvest those frames inside the brood box. That's for the personal consumption of the bees. And we can see the beautiful hexagons of the bees. So they make the cells by themselves. And on this frame also we see those black coleopters. One just escaped, but they're called, yes, one. They're called small hive beetle. They're parasite of the beehive. And there's not much we can do to remove them except trapping them or keeping a strong beehive. So I will put this frame back inside the hive and we will have a look in another hive, which is called a Nucleus Hive, and see if we can spot a queen and a bit more bees. Okay, so I'm just about to open a Nucleus Hive. So this Nucleus Hive is not a hive as such, it's just a hive that, a swarm that I caught several weeks ago. And I put it in this temporary box for the bees to build up. And we'll have a look if we can spot the queen. So I can't see the queen on this frame yet, but what I can see is a lot of eggs actually. So she must have been there not long ago, because at the bottom of the cell I can see a lot of eggs. One egg at the bottom of each cell, which is good. That means that the population will build up in this hive. Where are you? Okay, we can see a bit more things on this one. So we've got cap brood, but in between we've got larvae. Larvae are like maggots, but they're pearly white, and that's the first stage of the bees. So from an egg, the eggs will hatch in 3 days, and then it will transform in a small larvae. And the larvae, in about 10 days, will make a silk cap and will emerge as a bee in 21 days. Here's the queen. So the queen is on this frame there. She's bigger than the other one and she moves quicker. She is looking for a cell to lay an egg. You can see she's got a bigger abdomen, a pointy abdomen. She's probably not twice, but 1.5 the size of a worker bee in comparison. And you can see also that thorax there is quite black and without any hairs. In fact, a queen can live up to 5 years in a hive. Most of the time she can live up 3 years in Australia. As for the workers, they can live several weeks only. Okay, so I put her back inside. I will put the frame where she is back inside. She is at the moment right on top of the frame there, but she will go back inside soon. Yes. So same as the other frames, honey, then pollen, then brood. That's a perfect frame. And there is eggs, young larvae, and brood about to hatch here. It's just capped. So this brood will emerge in 10 days. Okay, so I would put back this frame inside the hive and we will close it, and that will be the end of what's inside the beehive for today.